Welcome to Direct Taxation Lecture 1. This lecture series is applicable for June 2022. I will completely entire syllabus for direct taxation in this particular video lectures. So if you want self-study, so stick around this YouTube channel. So let's begin. Today's topic is I will cover direct taxation syllabus 2016. So syllabus 2016 we have. This is our syllabus so far. So we studied what are the syllabus we study notes, study entire syllabus in the direct taxation. So this is the freshers class. Those who have starts with direct taxation, my videos lectures will be useful to you. I hope it will be useful to you. If you useful and stick around this YouTube channel, I will keep updates. This channel is Finance Act 2000. So Finance Act 2021 for June 2021 applicable. So I will later, first of all, I will discuss entire concept and will practice some. After completing each study note, I will do practical illustrations with suitable examples illustrations. So please stick around to my YouTube channel for more. Let's begin. What is direct taxation? This is our direct taxation book. We studied. So studied upcoming. And this is the cover entire 100 mark. It will contain three sections. So this will contain three sections, that is syllabus structure. Before start any subject, any paper, first of all we understand the structure. What is the syllabus structure? So syllabus structure is A and B. So you have income tax basics in the 10% given in the examination weightage. And first of all we study the entire concept. If you understand whatever pattern is given in the examination is another issue, is not okay. First of all we starts with concept understanding is very important. So that's why this is the concept based examinations profession. So first of all we remember and first understand and study entire institute syllabus. First first study the institute syllabus whatever. So don't crack any other things, malpractice and other things, it will be not cover. So come to the point. Here we have syllabus structure is direct taxation paper number 7. This syllabus is content 3 sections. So direct taxation will cover 3 sections. Direct taxation, this is the paper number 7. So we have three sections. First one is income tax basics and then second one is computation of income, heads of income and computation of income, heads of income and computation of income. So computation of income. So next point we given here, computation of income and tax management, tax planning and tax administration procedures and ICDS. These are the 3 sections we have covered inside income tax, direct taxation and our intermediate syllabus. This is the intermediate syllabus 2016 for the June 2022 examinations. For latest I will update latest amendments also, don't need to worry about that. So skill sets requiring skills for knowledge, comprehension and application of analysis is very important for this direct taxation. This note subject related to applicable to statutes shall be shall be read with the amendments made from time to time. So in this this is the syllabus, our syllabus structure of direct taxation. We contain 3 sections, entirely contain 3 sections A and B, C. Each contains income tax have basics we have 10%, heads of income and computation of total income is tax liability is 70%, and tax management administration procedures and ICDS is 20%. So follow my regular updates. So this paper contains in examination, this is paper will be written examination paper 3 hours. So this is the our syllabus structure so far. So let's begin to the, so what are the syllabus? So section A, we cover income tax basics, 10 marks. Number 1, introduction to the Income Tax Act 1961, constitutional validity, basic concepts and definitions, capital and revenue receipts, basis of charge and scope of total income, residential status and incidence of tax, and excluding section 9A. So we will discuss later part of this video. So next, income which do not form of total income, section 10, 11 to 13A. Section 10, 11, 13A. We will discuss in this section A of income tax basics, 10 marks. This weightage is 10 marks. Next, section B, heads of income and computation of total income and tax liability. Total income and tax liability, this will be contain 70 marks. So heads of income and computation of total income under various heads: salaries, income from house property, and profit and gains and business profession, excluding 42B, 42 and 42, 44DB. We will discuss, but including sections we will discuss in this entirely this topic. Each and topic in entirely we will discuss in this particular topics. So next, capital gains and income from other sources, clubbing provisions and set off carried forward losses, set off and carry forward losses and deductions we will discuss in this topic. Income of other persons included in assessee total income, aggregation of income and set off and carry forward losses, deductions and computation of total income, rebate and reliefs, applicable rates and tax liability, assessment of income and tax liability for different persons, taxation of individual including AMT but excluding non-resident and HUF, firms, limited liability and association of persons and cooperative societies. We will discuss in this topic. And next, section C, we cover tax management administration procedures and ICDS. Tax management administrative procedures and ICDS. So TDS and TCS advance tax we will discuss, and administration process, written intimation and brief concept of so brief concepts of assessment under section 140A and 143A and 44A. And last but not least, ICDS basic concept. So entire we will discuss in this is the structure completely. This is the study notes we discuss upcoming lectures. So we will continue into the topic, jump into the section A, income tax basic study note number 1. So we have income tax, we have 20 study notes. We have 20 study notes. We have 20 study notes. We have first starts with basic concepts and ends with ICDS. Income computation of disclosure standards. So I will keep updates in amendments also. No need to worry about that. This is the those who have latest version, and also PDF available in institute material, institute website also. So first of all, we discuss base study note starts with basic concept. No further delay, let's begin. Introduction, direct tax. This is the syllabus basic concept. This study note include these topics: introduction, direct taxation and indirect tax and indirect tax, constitutional validity of taxes, administration of tax laws, sources of income tax law in India, basic principles of charging income tax act section 4, and assessment year 2 of 9. So I will note it also. Assessee 2 of 7, person 2 of 31, income 2 of 24, heads of income section 14, and gross total income is 80. So gross total income is 80B 5. So So ATB section 80 ATB and subsection 5, rounding of total income 288A. So rounding of total income and rounding of tax is section 288B. So that is the difference. Rounding of, don't confusion here, rounding of total income section 288A and rounding of tax is 288B. And capital versus revenue receipts we will discuss in this topic, in this sub study note: tax planning, tax evasion and tax avoidance. So tax planning and tax evasion and tax avoidance and diversion and application of income. These are the 18 study notes, 18 sub notes in sub study notes in the basic concept. So now further delay, let's jump into the basic concept. We cover entire. So basic concepts starts with, so new to channel, subscribe. So next, first starts with introduction. So what is tax? Tax is a compulsory income of the government to welfare its citizens for the responsibility for this welfare to the expenditure. So without expenditure, how the government's welfare measures taken by to its citizens. So like in welfare state, the government takes primarily responsibility for the welfare of its citizens as it matters of healthcare, education, employment, infrastructure, social security, and other development needs. So to facilitate these, governments needs revenue. The taxation is primary source of revenue to the government for incur such public welfare expenditure. In other words, the government taking taxes from public its one hand, and through other hand it incurs welfare expenditure for public lots. However, no one can enjoy the handling over his hard-earned money to his government by pay tax. Thus taxes are compulsory and forced to the contribution to the government revenue to the government. Government may levy taxes on income for business profits or wealth. So these are the government may levy income tax, levy on taxes and income, business profit and wealth, and are added it to the cost of some goods and services and transactions. This is the introduction part. So taxation is very important to the government for its welfare to its citizens. For that reasons, he can give back to the citizens, to his citizens, like in the form of healthcare, education, employment, infrastructure, social security and other development needs. These are the main examples of welfare measures by the government when the taxation is taken by the government in any welfare state. Okay, taxation is a primary source of revenue to the government for incurring such public welfare expenditure. Without the revenue, how can government incur the welfare expenditure? In other words, the government is taking taxes from public through one hand and other hand. Okay, understand? So one hand and other hand. One hand and other hand taking the taxes and incur to the expenditure and public to the tax. So opposite, from one place opposite. So giving back to society and taking back to the government for the sake of welfare expenditure. This is the introduction part of taxation. So simple. Government may tax levy on income, business, profits, and it's a compulsory enforced contribution to the government by public. It is compulsory enforced to the government to the public. So this is the introduction part. I hopefully understand. So next further topic is, so we covered introduction. So next we continue is the direct tax and indirect tax. So direct tax, a tax which there are two types of tax. So tax is, so from now on I will note that down. So that next one I hopefully understand. So next we cover question. This is very important short type questions. What are the types of taxes? So what are the types of taxes? Okay, question number 1. Taxes are two types. So taxes are two types. First one is direct taxes Second one is indirect taxes. So what is meant by direct tax? We discuss, this is the two types of taxes. So let's discuss the two types of taxes in the deeply in deeply. So tax on which the incidence and impact fall on same person is known as direct. So tax is incidence and impact fall on. So write down this line. Whenever what is direct tax is given, tax of which incidence and impact fall on the same person is known as direct tax. So tax of which incidence and impact fall on the same person is known as direct tax, such as income tax, advance tax, and so on and so on. On the other hand, so this is the definition of direct tax. So tax on which incidence and impact fall on the same person is known as direct tax. So next one is indirect tax. Next one is, second one is, we have two types of tax. First one is direct tax and then indirect tax. Tax on which incidence and impact fall on same person is known as direct tax. So it is opposite. On the other hand, tax on which incidence impact fall on two different persons. So remember, just incidence and impact fall on here a single person is two different persons is known as indirect tax. So for example, such as GST, customs, and etc. etc. Tax of which incidence and impact fall on same person is known as direct tax, such as income tax. On the other hand, tax which is incidence impact fall on two different persons is known as indirect tax, such as GST. So let's discuss direct tax. It means direct tax is recovered from directly from the assessee, but so indirect tax is recovered from two. We have discussed indirect tax is we have different person. So person who passes the burden from other person ultimately burdened by the goods of services. So we need to study we understand. That is the difference. That is the different definition of direct tax and indirect tax. So I repeat again, direct taxation is incidence and impact fall on the same person is known as direct tax. Incidence and impact fall on. So incidence and impact fall on same person is known as direct tax. Incidence and impact fall on two different persons is known as indirect. So indirect tax we all familiar know. So example is income tax. So that's why we study this tax in the form of direct tax. So income tax and the example GST and customs etc. These are the examples of indirect tax. So example for direct tax is income tax, advance tax. So and mix everything no. So incidence and impact fall on same person is known as direct tax. So incident impact fall on two different person is indirect tax, GST and customs etc. So let's discuss difference. So first one is definition. We write down here. It is direct tax. So I see here. No, you attend. So direct tax and direct. Now we will discuss in the direct tax will be directly tax. Direct tax is recovered directly from the assessee who is ultimately bear such taxes. So let's discuss. We have let's discuss continue further difference between direct tax and indirect tax. So what is the difference between these two types of tax? So we all know incidence and impact fall on the same person. Incidence and impact fall on two different person. Assessee means who pay the tax to the government. His name is called assessee. We will discuss definition in the latter part of this study note. So the assessee himself bears such taxes, thus it is pinches is to the taxpayers. So the tax is pinches to the pinches is the technical name. You must note down and try this. It is very impression to the examiner. Assessee himself bears such taxes, thus it pinches the taxpayers. So levy on income, example income tax. This is the progressive nature. So this is called higher income, higher tax will be profit earning. So levy on person higher income. So higher income, higher tax. So vice versa. So vice versa. So this is incidence, indirect tax. We have difference between incidence and impact fall on two different person. Tax is recovered from assessee, those who have burden to another person. So it will be, thus it not be tax. So it is the consumer to the harmful to the example levy on inflation. So no chance for inflation. Good in case this is the chance for inflation. Levy on goods and services, examples. So examples in custom duty and etc. Regressive nature, all the persons wrath of the goods and services irrespective of their ability. So irrespective of their ability. So useful tool to promote social welfare by checking the consumption of harmful goods or any higher rates consumption. This is the difference between indirect tax and indirect tax. So next, if you understand the concept very well for direct taxation continuously, you will clear. So constitutional validity of next topic is in this basic concept 1.3, that is constitutional validity. We cover direct indirect, the introduction, direct tax versus indirect tax. So now we cover constitutional validity of taxes. The Constitution of India. So we all know Constitution is our primary and important and Constitution of our Constitution is very important to our nation to promote and regulate the rules and regulations and how the citizens perform their day-to-day activities. So Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. It consists of preamble and 22 parts and then 444 articles. So it doesn't matter, it will be not relevant here, irrelevant here. What the articles or amendments, this is a separate topic. So this is the 22 parts contain 444 articles and 12 schedules. Any tax law which is not conformity with the constitution is called ultra vires. Which is not conformity with the constitution, it is called a ultra vires. Ultra vires means behind the powers. So the constitution, ultra vires, the constitution and they held as a illegal and void. Some of the provisions of the constitution is given below. So article 265 of the constitution lays down that no tax shall be levied on collected except by the authority of law. So note constitution of article 265, this is the important for MCQ's purpose. Article 265 of the constitution lays down that no tax shall be levied on collected except by the authority of law. If it means tax proposed to be levied must be within the legislative competence of legislative competence of legislature for imposing the tax. Article 246, read with the schedule 7. Schedule 7 divides the subject matter of law. So each subject matter by the legislature into 3 categories. So already in the last I already mentioned here, article 265 is constitution has lays down that no tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law. So no tax shall be levied and or collected by authority except by authority of law. So authority of law we will discuss later part of this topic. That means tax proposed by levy must be within the legislative competence and legislative imposing of tax. So Article 246 read thus with this Schedule 7 divides the subject matter of law made by into three categories. So we have federal state. Our country has a federal system of governance. So we have three central and states government. That's why you called union list. I repeat again. Repeat the sentence again. I mentioned earlier. That is, we have federal state system of governance through central and state. So that's why we cover as union list and state list and concurrent list. Concurrent list means both state and union and state. We will continue. We will pass the legislation and on the subject matters. So union list means only central government has power of legislation on subject matters covers in the list. So what are the listing is written? List is not relevant here. Union list only central government has power the legislation to on the subject matter covered by list. So state list has to only state has government. State governments has power legislation subject matters covers in the list. Concurrent list is both central and state government can pass the legislation on subject. Central government has passed the legislation. Pass the legislation on the subject matters. If the state law is relating to the entry in list the repugnant and to the union law, that entry the union law will prevail and the state of law will be shall. The existence of repugnance Article 254 will be discussed. Article to be void and under the Article 254. So this is the repugnancy means we need to study yourself. List 3 repugnant of the union law relating to that entry. The union law will be prevail. So following major entries are in the respect of list enables the legislature Union list 1 is 82 taxes on income other than agriculture income, that is income tax. So that's why we have power to the union list in the union list by the power of the legislation given by the Article 246. So state list we have 46 agriculture income, taxes on agriculture income. This is the power given by the state governments only. So if any case issues both in states both to the control the in the list matters will be discussed and settled in the concurrent list. So clear. So union list 182 and state list is 46 taxes on agriculture income. So this is the very 1 to 2 marks given, mainly this on 80 to 90% in the examination point of view. So next administration, next 1.3 we cover constitution of validity of taxes. So we have cover each state have each union list 44 sections. Supreme Court, the Constitution of India is supreme law of India. It consists of preamble. It consists of preamble 22 parts of contains 444 articles and 12 schedules. Any tax laws which is not conformed with the Constitution, it is called ultra vires, behind the power. Ultra vires and the meaning is behind the power. Ultra vires, this is a legal term. The Constitution and held as a legal, illegal as a void. Some of the provisions of the constitutions are given below. So we will Article 265 is. So Article 265 we will do the composition of tax laid down. So union list only central government power has legislation on the subject matters. Concurrent list, state list will be power of subject matters. Both central and can pass the legislation on subject matters. So union list 80 section entry 82 to taxes on income other than agriculture income. Agriculture income goes to state list to list 2, that is 46. Next we move into the administrative of taxes. Who administrative the tax laws? So administration to the tax laws. So administration authority of tax laws is as follows: Minister of Finance, Department of Revenue, and Central Board of Direct Tax, and state we have administrative. So administration of tax laws. This is very important. So administration of tax laws. So administration of tax laws. So Minister of Finance. So Minister of Finance. So Minister of Finance to Department of. So Minister of Finance to Department of Revenue. So Department of Revenue to both Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs. So here Central Board of Direct Tax, that is CBDT, CB abbreviation CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs, CIBICB, Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs, Central Board of Direct Taxes. These are the CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. These are the administration of tax laws. First goes to the Minister Office, starts from Minister Office and goes to the Department of Revenue, goes to in case of direct tax, Central Board of Direct Tax will do this, pass legislation, whatever rules and regulations, and goes to next. In case of indirect tax, goes to this department, the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs. This is the administration of tax laws. So tax point, as a tax point, we will discuss here. Both of the boards have been constituted under the Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. So both boards, what is the board? CBDT and so CBD. What are the boards we have? Boards we have, that is CBDT and CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Customs, Central Board of Direct Tax. These boards are constituted under the Central Board of Revenue Act, Central Board of Revenue Act, that is 1963. This act is framed by the Constitution of Central Board of Direct Tax and Central Board of Indirect and Customs. In the 1960 Central Board of Revenue Act, Central Board of Revenue Act. Both boards have been constituted under the Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. Central Board of Direct Tax deals with the levy and collection of direct tax, whereas matters relating to the levy and customs, levy and collection of Central Board of Tax. So I already mentioned that so in case of direct tax collection, Central Board of Direct Tax will be taken. In case of indirect tax, Central Board of Indirect Tax and Custom Board will be levy the indirect tax laws, and everything deals with the indirect tax. This is the administration of tax laws. So we cover 1.4. Now move into the sources of income tax law in India. How the income tax law will be source. Source means gain. So we have 3 Income Tax Act annual amendments. In the source of income tax law, we have 3 circulars and clarification and by the CBDT, and last but not least judicial decisions. So judicial decisions. So if you please refer the institute material for clear and for your sake of your preparation. So sources of income tax law, we have 5 study notes. 1.5 So I will write down the 1.5. We have sources of income tax law in India. So as per our syllabus is were in India, so we study the income tax act by in the India in Indians environment. So sources of income tax law. So sources of income tax law, we have following 5 types. First one is Income Tax Act 1961. Next, second one, annual amendments. So annual amendments. Next, third one is income tax rules 1962. Income tax rules 1962. Next, fourth one is circulars and clarifications by CBDT. Who is the CBDT? Central Board of Direct Tax. CBDT, right? And circulars and clarification by CBDT. This is the sources of income tax law. So last but not least, judicial decisions. So judicial decisions. So we will discuss one by one now. So this is the sources of. So just recap. So 1.5 sources of income tax law. We are studying the basic concept. Study note number 1. Recap. Income tax. So 1.5 sources of income tax law. So Income Tax Act 1961, annual amendment, income tax rules 1962, circulars and clarification by CBDT, judicial decision. So let's discuss one by one. So Income Tax Act 1961 amendment up to date. So the amendment is up to date. So because what are the day-to-day, yearly, what are the rules, regulations, what are the problems and so problems we have facing the present years of tax law and update key. That's why we have up to date for the amendments. So the provisions of income tax and extends to the whole India become effective. So this will be applicable to the whole India. So income tax with effect from first section 1. So this is the section 1 of the Income Tax Act. So Income Tax Act was framed 1962 the 4th April 4th first April 1 4 1962 1 4 1962 1 4 1962. So 1 4 1962 under this section 1. This is the name and title and commencement of the Income Tax Act, of the name and title of the commencement of the Income Tax Act. 1st April 1962. This is became effect from this, applicable to the whole India, applicable to whole India. So what are the determination of tax income, determination of tax liability, a procedure for assessment of appeals and penalties and prosecutions, procedure for assessment and appeals, penalties, prosecutions and etc. Powers and duties of income tax authorities, powers and duties of income tax authority. So this is the Act of Income Tax, sources of Income Tax Act laws in India. So this provision of income tax extend the whole India, applicable to the whole India, and became effective from 1st April 1962. Section 1 starts with, this is the effect and effect from section 1. The act contains provisions for determination of taxable income, determination of tax liability, procedure for assessment of penalties, penalties and prosecutions, etc. Powers and duties of income tax authorities. So this is the sources of one we cover. Next, annual amendments. Income tax has undergone several amendments from time to time. It is originally enacted through the union budget. Original to the act of the union budget. Every year the finance bill was presented before the parliament by the finance minister. The bill contains various amendments which are sought to be made in the areas of direct tax and indirect tax levied by the central governments. So direct tax and levied tax entry already discussed here. So what union list, so that's why 88 entry number 82 union list we will discuss. What are the matters we will discuss in the union list is this one, direct tax and indirect tax amendments. What are the amendments we will discuss. Income tax has undergone several amendments from time to time. It is originally enacted through the union budget. Every year a finance bill is presented before the parliament by the finance minister. The bill will contain various amendments for sought to the made to the areas in the areas of direct and indirect tax laws by the central government. So when the finance bill is approved by the both houses of parliament and receive the assent of the president, it becomes the what? Finance Act. So I repeat again. When the finance bill is approved by the both houses of parliament and receive the assent by the president, and the president has been seen, assent means seen, and signature of his signature, and becomes the Finance Act. The provisions of such Finance Act thereafter incorporation of the Income Tax Act. If on first day of the April of assessment year, new Finance Act has not been enacted. So the provisions in force of proceeding the assessment year, the provisions proposed by finance bill before the parliament, whichever is more beneficial to the assessee, will apply until new provisions will affect from section 294. So section in that section 294 we will discuss in this. So as per the syllabus is concerned, this is not applicable, is not relevant here. So on first day of April, immediately so when the finance bill is assented to the president and both houses of parliament and become assent to the and should not be enacted as a finance act before for the beneficial of an assessee. And ordinance. Besides these amendments, whenever it is found necessary, the government introduce amendments in the form of amendment acts and ordinance. The name of amendments acts and ordinance. Okay, I hope you understand. So Income Tax Act rules 1962 for amendment up to date. So as per the 295, the board may subject to the control of central government. They make rules for the whole or any part of India carrying out the purposes of income tax. Such rules are made applicable by notification in the Gazette of India. These rules were first made in 1962, are known as Income Tax Act rules. So that's why rules, when the gazetted notification is given, so that became a income tax rules. So every citizen of India, you must follow the rules and regulations of this 1962 rules. It will be, this also may be amendment up to date. So as per the section 295 of the board may be subject to the control of central government, make rules for the whole or any part of the India carrying out for the purpose of this act. So such rules are made applicable by the gazetted notification of India, by gazetted notification of the India. So Bharatiya Rajapatra has been insert, so that's become a insert these rules and they became a rules act, and these rules may be applicable to the all India. The rules are made first 1962, are known as Income Tax Act rules 1962. Clear? Since then from this 1962 onwards, from that year onwards, many rules has been framed and existing rules have been amended from the time to time, and the same been incorporated in this incorporate in aforesaid rules. Incorporate and in the incorporate in aforesaid rules. So clear. These are the income tax rules 1962. So these are the sources of income tax law in India. So next, circulars and clarification by the CBDT. Circulars and clarification by the CBDT under section 119 or under section 1119. So please note that these sections for the MCQ's purposes. Sources of, we cover Income Tax Act 1961. So this is the source, Income Tax Act 1961. I just recap again. This is the provisions. This Income Tax Act 1961 was provisions income tax extended to whole India and became the effective of 1962 section 1. The act contains provisions for determination of tax liability, determination of total taxable income, tax procedure and assessment of appeals and penalties of prosecutions and powers and duties of income tax authorities. These are the Income Tax Act. So annual amendments every year, every year undergo the several amendments from time to time. It is originally enacted through the union budget. Every year the finance bill is presented before the assent of the before the parliament by the finance minister, and the bill contains various amendments which are sought to with the areas of both direct and indirect taxes, but which is levied by central government, and the finance bill is approved by both houses of parliament and receive the and assent to the president and become the finance act. So this is the if the first and then first day of April will be assent of first day of the April of the assessment year. The new finance act has been enacted. 1st April on the of the assessment year. We will discuss what is assessment year in the latter part of the study note. And preceding assessment year, provisions of finance bill and before the parliament, whichever is more beneficial to the assessee. This term also we will discuss later, will apply until new provisions become effective on 294, section 294. So in the annual amendment 294. So beside these amendments, so note this note. So remember, every note will be studied. Beside these amendments, whenever it is found necessary, the central government introduce amendment in the form of various amendment acts, amendments on ordinance. So income tax rule as per the 294 is concerned. 294, as per section 294, the board may be subjected to central government on the make rules of carrying for the purpose of such rules are made applicable for the income tax. Such rules are may be applicable in the by the notification in the Gazette of India. These rules were must made in the 1962, where the Income Tax Act rules 1962. Since then, the many rules from 1962, when the act is framed onwards, they have plenty of amendments and acts rules change for depends upon time to time update, depends upon their situations from now on. Circulars clarification is given under section 190. The board may be issued. What is the board? Both central government and indirect in the Central Board of Indirect Customs and both Central Board of Indirect Tax. Whichever is matters will be discussed. This is the administration circulars notification. They have own circulars and notification. Both the boards. What is the both boards? Both indirect and direct taxes. Both Central Board of Direct Tax, Central Board of Income Tax, Central Board of Indirect and Customs. Indirect and Customs. If any claims of assessee, these circulars are clarification binding upon the income tax authority. So binding up means very tight upon the income tax authority, but the same not being binding to the assessee, but same not binding on the assessee. However, assessee can claim benefit under such circulars, can claim the benefits of such circulars. So these boards and issue the circulars, clarifications and notifications from time to time, which have to followed by the applied by the income tax authorities. These circulars are not binding on the income tax appellate tribunal or courts or on the courts. Okay, so now this is circulars and notifications given by the authorities. Next, judicial decision by Supreme Court. Any decision is so judicial decisions. Next, fifth one, under sources of income tax law. Sources of income tax law. Decision of the Supreme Court. Any decision given by the Supreme Court shall be applicable. There is any change law in the law by the Parliament. Such decision shall be binding all the courts. Contradiction in the decisions of Supreme Court. In case there is apparently contradictions decisions, the decisions of larger bench, whether earlier or later, shall always prevail. However, decisions are we have only the Supreme Court is the highest authority. Is the very important of the quoting this. You see, our Supreme Court is very high authority in the country. So this is the Supreme Court decision is the final decision. Whatever decision has taken, it is a very significant role of that decision to face the assessees must do in case of against income tax authorities, in case of any illegal doing. So that is different issue, not relevant here. So contradiction of decision by Supreme Court. In case of there is apparently contradiction decision, this decision is larger, whether the earlier or later, whichever shall always prevail. However, the decisions are given by the benches having equal number of judges. Decisions recent cases are applicable. Apart from Supreme Court, we have state high courts, that is high courts. Decision given by high courts are income tax authorities. Decisions given by high courts are income tax authorities are binding all the our income tax authorities, which have fall under the jurisdiction unless it is overruled or by the higher authority. Unless overruled, so rules crossed by the higher authority, it will be consent to the certain jurisdictions. This is the source of income tax law. I hopefully understand, right? Next, 1.6 is basic principles of income tax law, section 4. So income tax basic sources of income tax law and section 4. Income tax of the previous year of person is charged to immediately following the assessment year. So assessment year we will discuss later part of the class. 1.6 we have 1.6. So 1.6 we have basic principles of charging the income tax. Section 4, income tax previous year of person is charged income tax to the tax immediately following assessment year. Rate of tax is applicable is specified under the Annual Finance Act that of that year. So rates will be prescribed for the Finance Act. So what is Finance Act? We will discuss it later already. So every year our finance minister has implemented. Every year has been presented the finance bill in the both houses of Parliament and assent to the Prime Minister and become Finance Act. Assent to the President and become the Finance Act. Not Prime Minister, President, our country President. So that's why we have Finance Act of the rules income of the previous year of person charged. So if a person is charged to the income tax immediately following the assessment year. So previous year means if income earned year. So income of the previous year, when the assessee is in earned income, that will be taxable for the next assessment year, next year. is immediately, that's why he charged to the income tax, charged to the tax in the immediately following assessment year. So rates of tax is applicable as specified by annual finance act that year. Further, through the finance act prescribed the rates of tax in respect of certain income tax is provided by prescribed itself, prescribed specific rates. Example, lottery income is taxed on 30%, section 115b. Long term capital gains is 20%. So it will be changed according to this is the, for the theory purpose we have studied this basic concept. We'll discuss this section in detail in next upcoming classes. In respect of income tax chargeable to the tax shall be deducted at source or paid in advance, or taxable paid in advance, wherever is applicable. Section 4 is charging the section, and it's backbone of the Income Tax Act. Section 4, so is the backbone of the Income Tax Act, is charging section. So charging section of the income tax liability of arise by virtue of sections and arise the close of previous year. However, the financialization of amount of tax liabilities is postponed to the assessment year. It follows the rules that liabilities is to be tax not dependent upon the assessment, not depend upon the assessment. So this is the basic principles of charging the income tax. Charging section 4 is the backbone of the Income Tax Act. This is, remember, this is the MCQ's purpose also. Section 4 is the backbone of the Income Tax Act, because it is chargeable. What are the rates prescribed in this section? So assessment year 2 of 9. So assessment year, this is the very important. So what is the assessment year? So 1.5. We cover 1.6. So now moving to the 1.7. Assessment year. Section 2 of 9. Assessment year is section 2 of 9. Assessment year means the period of 12 months commencing on the first day of April every year. So first day of every April. First day of every April in the year just after previous year, in which income is earned. So already discussed. So income is chargeable under the previous year. A person is earned income in that year. It will be taxable on previous year. It will be taxable on next assessment year. So when the income is earned in the previous year, it will be taxable to the next assessment year. So that's why assessment year is given. So example we have discussed here. This is the today latest amendment is 22, 23. So 22 and 23 we have. This is the amendment. This is the latest amendment assessment year. So we have discussed year. So I will strike out. So previous year. So assessment year means period of 12 months. So assessment year is period of 12 months. So commencing first day of every April every year. So for every year, it is the year after previous year in which income is earned in the previous year is charged to the tax. So income is charged. So what is the previous year we discuss later. First assessment year we need to study. So as a tax point, period of 12 months from starting from 1st April. So 1st April 1/4/2022. This is the assessment year 2023. So 22 and 23, this is the assessment year. Okay, relation with the previous year, it follows after previous year. So once previous year finish and the new year will be new assessment year. As per the new year, in case of new year we start with January. So our December 31 is the old year. So now become the January 1st is the new year. In case of income tax, starts with 1/4 April, starts with April. April 1st is the new year in case of income tax. So clear. Purpose is income of previous year is assessed is taxable immediately following the assessment year. So immediately following the assessment year. So now that is the assessment year. So previous year or uniform year, section 4 of the income tax, this Income Tax Act. Previous years means financial year immediately preceding is the assessment year. Income earned in the year is assessed in the next year. The year which is income the year is year in which income is earned known as previous year, and the next year of the income is assessee known as assessment year. It is mandatory for all assessee to follow financial year from 1st April to 31st March. So okay, for the previous year for income tax purpose I already mentioned with the example of new year concept. So we all know financial year. I just work out it. So assessment year means I cover this topic. This is where too important. Assessment year, we simply put acronym is AY, that is 2 of 9, that is 2 of 9, section 2 of 9. Assessment year, the year which is the year which previous year income is charged. Clear? Income is charged. The year which previous income is charged. Previous year means section 3, right? Section 3. This the year which income is earned. So when the income in previous year is earned. So what is the previous year? Starts with previous year 12 months. So every previous year means 12 months. So previous year is starts with 31st to 31st March to April 1st. So reverse April 1st. So whatever year had. So assessment year is April 1st to 31st March. So in this year where income is charged. So income is charged. This is the assessment year. This is the previous year. Clear? So that's why here mentioned here. The previous year means the financial year immediately preceding the assessment year. Income earned in the year is charged, is assessed in the next year. Assessed means charged. Assessed means legal term, in the legal term. So we write in the examination, we read that. For understanding purpose, I will tell you. The year which income is earned known as previous year. Simple line. Material is given. The year, I already mentioned here, the year in which income is earned is known as previous year and will be taxable in the assessment year. So financial year according to section 2 of 21, the General Classes Act 1897. So 1897 financial year means year comes in from the 1st April to with the period of 12 months and ending with the March 31st for next year. It plays dual role for the assessment year as well as previous year. So here we simple mention here. For example, so a financial year we have, suppose we have 20, 21 and 22 we have right now. 21 and 22 assessment of the previous year is what? Assessment for the previous year is 20. Assessment of the previous year is 21 and 22. So assessment for the previous year is 21 and 22. Previous year for the assessment is, so last previous year means previous year is 21 and 22 and 23. So this is 22 and 23, right? Previous year. assessment year for the previous year is this is so for the 20 in the last this is the world book. I will just for sake of theory purpose I will keep updates latest amendments. Don't need to worry for the understand here. First to understand the concept, rules, regular amendments, acts we will discuss later. For previous year for the assessment year 2021. So 18-19 is the previous year. This is the world book. We have latest version. We have simply calculation yourself. So 22-23 is the assessment year from 1st April to next March 2023. So that's why it become previous year financial year played dual role in the that is assessment year as well as previous year. 22 to so 21 to 22. This is the previous year now. 22 to 23. This is the assessment year. 20. Next previous year 2022 this is the assessment year. Suppose we have taken the 21 is 22 is assessment year. From now 21 to 20 to 21 year 2020 and 2021 is the previous year to this 2021 and 22 clear, and 22 to 23 this is the assessment year now. This is the now we will write the latest amendment and write the examination is June 2022 and okay clear. So determination of first previous year is in case of newly set up a business or profession for the new sources of income. So in case of business and profession being newly set up, previous year beginning with the date of setup and beginning and ending of the 31st March that year. So sources of income tax newly income coming to the existence become beginning of the date of which the new source of income comes to the existence, ending of 31st March financial year. So this is the not relevant here above the explanation. Signing of the first previous year may be period of less than 12 months, but in any case of exceed of 12 months. However, next subsequent previous year shall be always period of 12 months. So 12 months is the previous year or financial year. Where an assessee has an existing regular income for a various sources of revenues income from source during the previous year, the previous year shall commence on first existing income 1st April of the previous year, and new income is from the date when on which new source of income comes to the existence, when new source of income is existent. However, assessee is liable to aggregate income all the assessee aggregate from income all, therefore our income will be continue including the previous year. So this is the non-resident shipping, this is not taxable, this is the not relevant here. Not exam point of view. So next move into the assessee 2 of 7. So assessee is 2 of 7. A person by whom or any tax such money is penalty or interest payable under this act, irrespective of fact whether any proceeding under this act is taken by him or not. So this assessee. So this is the theory we study yourself. So every person is a person. This is simple theory. Person 2 of 31. So person is very important. 2 of 31. The term person includes the following: an individual, a company, a firm, an association of person, body of whether these are the 5 without a incorporate. Where the incorporate is local authority, artificial judicial person, not fall within the any proceeding categories. Actually have one individual. So each have unique. We have tax point in the laws. We will discuss artificial judicial persons or the artificial judicial persons. The term person includes the following: any individual HUF, a company, a firm, an association of persons or body of individual, whether incorporate or not, local authority, every artificial judicial person not falling within any preceding categories. Within any preceding categories. Notes: on the basis of well-settled principle, the crown cannot be charged to the tax. Crown is cannot be charged to the tax. It cannot be. It can be said unless otherwise specifically mentioned that the Union government cannot be taxed in India. An association of persons, a body of individual, local authority, or not official judicial person shall be deemed a person, whether it not such a person of a body or a judicial person was formed in the established incorporated after deriving the income on profit or gains. A firm includes the limited liability partnership. A firm includes limited liability partnership. These are the categories of persons. Section 2 of 31. Section 2 of 31 is a partnership. Part 2 of person. This is the exam point of question. So please read twice this question 2 of 31 for the theory questions in the examination point of view. So each have sub-definitions of each have individual. The word individual means natural person, that is human being. Individual mean includes a minor or person, unsound mind. However, deities are accessible as a judicial person. Deities are the accessible as a judicial person. The word individual means a natural person or being a human being, includes a minor or person, unsound mind. However, deities are accessible as a judicial person. Trustees at discretion shall be assessee on India as an individual. Undivided family consists of all persons lining descent from the common ancestors, including their wives and their wives and their wives and their unmarried daughters. Next point: only those undivided families are covered here to which Hindu law applies. As Hindu laws applies, it also includes Jain, Sikhs families. Once family is assessed as a Hindu undivided family, it will continue as associated as such till partition. So when the Hindu undivided family has been assessed, when it will be continue as be assessee, when it will be partition. So Hindu undivided family will be partition, otherwise it will be category as a assessee. So Hindu undivided family as a assessee. So we have discussed to the company. A company is means this is also important question 2 of 70. Company is 2 of 70. A company is means an Indian company, any body or corporate incorporated under the laws of foreign country. Any institutions, association of body which is or was accessible were assessed company for assessment year before on or before 1st April 1970. So on or before 1970, any institution or association of body which is accessible, which is or accessible was assessed as a company for assessment year on or before 1st April 1970. Any institution, association or body, whether incorporated or not, whether Indian or non-Indian, which is declared by this general or special order by the Central Board of Direct Taxation to be a company. Any individual, institution or association, any institution or body of association or body, or whether incorporated or not, or whether in Indian or non-Indian, which is declared by the general or special order, which is declared by Central Board, which is declared by general or special order of the Central Board of Direct Taxes of to the company. To be a company. 2 of 17 to Indian company. 2 of 26 any Indian company means framed under registered under the Companies Act 1956. So 2013 it will be 56. Includes any company. Includes a company formed and registered under any company in any law relating to the companies formally in force part of India other than the state of Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territories specified in C infra specified in C. A company is formed and registered under the law from time to time for being forced in Jammu and state of in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. A company framed registered under any law but for the time in the force of Union Territory of Dadra Nagar Haveli and Goa and Daman and Puducherry. So these Union Territories we consider will be specified in considered as a company other than any part of India other than state of Jammu Kashmir Union Territory, it will be treated as an Indian company. So corporation established under the corporation established by or under Central Board of State or Provisional Act. Any institution or association of body which is declared by the State Board of Direct Tax to be a company under Section 2 of 17. So 2 of 17 under the Companies Act 2017. Any institution or body declared by Central Board of Direct Taxes to be company. In the aforesaid cases, a company, corporation, institution, association body will be treated as an Indian company only if registered office or principal office, as in case may be in India. Only registered office and principal office is located in India. So domestic company, that is the Indian company. Definition of the section 2 of 21. So Indian company means a company formed registered company under the Companies Act 1956 includes a company formed and registered under the any law relating to the companies formally in force of any part of India, any part of India other than state of Jammu Kashmir. So this is theory. Foreign company means we have 2 of 32, Indian company 2 of 32. Foreign company means a company which is not a domestic company, a company which is publicly substantially interest on 2 of 18. The following companies are said to be company in which the public are substantially interested. So government company under Section 8, Companies Act 2013, Mutual Benefits of Finance Act, listed companies, companies in which shares are held in cooperative society, companies which is prescribed by CBDT. So companies which is prescribed by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Tax. So what are the next association of firm? Section 4 of the Indian, as per Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932. The partnership remains a relationship between persons who have agreed to share profit and business carried on or before by acting on by all, any one of them or acting by all is called firm. Person who is enter into such business or individual known as partners, and such business is known as firm. Such business is known as firm. A firm is not having separate legal entity but has separate entity in the eyes of Income Tax Act. So tax point at the partnership firm is a separate taxable entity apart from its members. So without partners, firm will be taxable. Income tax is a limited liability shall be treated as at for per firm. An association of person or body of individual. Association of person. An association of person is a group of persons, whether individual, HUFs or companies, etc., who join through together common purpose. Every combination of person cannot be termed as association of person. It is only when the associates themselves is an assessee income produced in activity, then they become association of persons. Whereas body of individuals means group of individuals and individual only who can join the together common purpose, whether it income or earned income, whether or not to earn income, co-heirs, co-agents, etc., to joining together for the purpose of co-heirs, co-dons, and etc., joining together income for the purpose of an action would be chargeable as an association of person or body of income. In case of Association of person. The association of person alone shall be taxes, and the members of the association of persons will be chargeable, shall be done taxable on the income of joining the common purpose. Join the common purpose will be treated as a association of persons. So difference between association of persons and body of individual. In case of body of individual, only individual can be members. Only can individual, remember it, only individual can be members. Whereas in case of association of persons, any person can be its members. Association of persons can be its members. Any person can be its members. That is entities like companies, firms, etc. Entities like companies, firms, etc. can be member of the association of persons and but not body of individual. In case of an association of person members voluntarily get together, common intention of purpose, whereas in case of body of such, common will be may or not be person. So local authority to as per the section 3 of 31 of the General Class Act. 3 of 31 of the local authority means municipal committee, district board, body of port commissioners, panchayatis, cantonment boards, and any other authorities legally entitled to trust by the government and with the control and management of the municipal of local fund. Artificial judicial fund, which are not natural person, means courts and it is ideals or university bar councils. These are the categories or examples of body artificial judicial person, which are not judicial person as per the as special entity in the eyes of law, as a separate entity in the eyes of law, may not have directly sued in the court of law, but they can be sued the persons are managing them. Under the income tax, such person has been provided exemption. So artificial judicial person as per the Income Tax Act is exempted for the payment of tax and separate provisions of the act with the certain conditions mentioned whether they are unsatisfied. So separate conditions will be said. Artificial judicial person as per the Income Tax Act, under the Income Tax Act, such person has been provided exemption for the payment of tax under the separate provisions of the act. If certain conditions mentioned there are satisfied. So let's take some example here. So we all discussed it so far. This is the person's definitions and also we have discussed all persons, 7 persons, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, that is person 2 of 31. Persons definition we will discuss. So please revise your study material whatever you have. So let's discuss, determine the status of following. So let us take some example illustration. So in case and status, Howrah Municipal Corporation, local authority. Howrah Municipal Corporations will be local authority because we have tagged local corporations. Local authority. 2 of 31 General Class Act. 3 of 31. That means local authority mentioned name. 3 of 31 Act pension. Corporation Act Amitabh Bachchan, individual. Corporation Bank, local company. Corporation Bank is company. Amitabh Bachchan is individual. Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited, company. Joint family of Sri Rama and Sri Ram, son-in-law, HUF, Hindu undivided family. Calcutta University artificial judicial person, X and Y, who is legal heirs of judge, body of individual. Already mentioned here, body of co-heirs, go-downs, with are joining together is X and Y, who legal heirs of judge, that is body of individual. Sole proprietor of business, individual. Partnership business, firm. Partnership business is firm. So now we will discuss income. Okay, this is the income. To consider any receipt of income, the following points should be kept in mind. Cash versus kind. income. So we will discuss. So I will stop here. So we will continue from income section 2 of 24 in the next lecture. So until unless, thanks for watching. See you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.